I'm Kimberly, and you're watching Simply Living in a Small Town. I hope everybody's having a great day. Today is Wednesday in my world, and I'm actually getting started earlier today. I am sorry. Yes, I see the sun like right above my head back here. I apologize about that, but there's a window right there, and there's no really good way for me to cover it at the moment. So I'm sorry. It'll just... Hopefully it's not too distracting, but see how the sun is, yeah. So hopefully that's not extremely distracting in this video. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to have to try to cover that like for tomorrow's videos or whatnot. So I'm sorry, my cats are, yeah, one of them is trying to be bad. So so anyway, I want to kind of recap a little bit. Well, first of all, this is just going to be, this video anyway, is just a coffee and chat video. So I'm just going to talk. Hopefully, I don't want the video to be too long, but hopefully, anyway, I just want to just talk a little bit. So, well, first of all, I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm kind of way off like on my things to some degree, on my goals and whatnot I was trying to do with this channel. Like last week I didn't get done what I wanted to do. Now I'm trying to work hard to kind of catch up with myself, so to speak. So but I want to welcome back any of my new subscribers, and I also want to welcome any new people as well. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So, things have gotten, if you've been watching, you know, like things have gotten off track for me because my daughter's dad had a massive stroke the week before last. I've been dealing with some things in regards to that. There's a lot to like deal with there because it does affect me, because it does affect my child. So there's things that I have to do that way. I've already made one trip to the courthouse. I've got to make another trip to the courthouse. So there's paperwork and things that I have to file in regards to that. So it's just been a lot just dealing with that, because I mean, it's just happened so abruptly and unexpectedly that none of us could have foreseen that. I mean, he's 51 years old, her dad is, and just like something to happen like that, it's still hugely shocking. And my daughter's still having a hard time grasping it, as well as I, and she's still been unable to see her dad. He's still in critical care. He had a craniectomy, and that's where they actually remove a portion of his skull. They did that to relieve the swelling on his brain, or he would not have made it through that day. And so he had that done, and he will still have to go through another surgery to put that piece of his skull back in his head. So that's, I mean, it's just he's still in critical care. He cannot walk or talk. He was able to, I guess, say hi recently, so that's good. He's from what I understand, started speech therapy, but they said that he will have to relearn how to walk and talk, and are unsure if he'll ever even be able to walk again, because he has paralysis on his left side of his body, and that's referred to as hemiplegia. And so they don't know if that is temporary or if that is actually going to be permanent. So it's just a lot to consume, and I have to, you know, do what is best for my child. But I would have never thought that something like this would have happened. So, I mean, it's just, she's 11 years old, and sorry about that. My cat is there. She's trying to get in the box. So that has been an extreme amount of stuff to deal with just with that alone. I also have something huge going on I can't really speak on it entirely yet, because it's going to be an ongoing situation for some time. I don't, you know, so there's really, it's one of those things I can't really talk about. So, but I am having to work on a lot of paperwork for that. I have a lot of stuff to turn in. It's probably going to be, well, this initial process anyway will probably be about 6 months. I do not know, quite possibly, from what I've read about it. So I just, you know, I have a lot of stuff going on. That's just that stuff. And, you know, that doesn't include your regular life where, you know, you're just being a mom and a wife, and you're cleaning and you're cooking and you're doing everything, like all the stuff. You're doing all the stuff, because that's my job. Like, I do all the stuff, you know. My husband goes to work, and then there's me, and I'm just literally, I'm holding down the fort, and I'm doing all the stuff, you know. So there's that. So that has put me behind with doing what other things I kind of intended to do in the last, well, like last week and then going into this week. So it'll be all right, but I'm trying to play catch up a little bit with this. So I'm putting out this video. I think that I will be probably recording several more videos today. So if you see me wearing the same clothes, you'll know why. So there's that. I want to, that's what I was going to do, recap for any new watchers. So if you are a new watcher and you have not been following along and you have not watched my intro video, so we currently live in a commercial building, my family, that is. My house burnt down on November 5th of 2020, which was our family home. And well, we then stayed for 2.5 weeks in a hotel. And then for 7 months we were homeless. And when I say homeless, the definition of homeless is not having a home, okay? So we did not have a home. We had a place technically to sleep. So, that was extremely difficult situation that we went through there. November 6th, the day after the fire, I mean, I was still in shock, y'all. So I just immediately, you know, went there that morning. It was about a 30-minute drive from the hotel which we were at. And I just went there and I started cleaning, and I did that straight for 7 months initially. So then 7 months we moved into this building, and it is a commercial building. I continue to still work on that property like weekly, like it was my job, because for the first 7 months I was there from morning to night, basically. The place that we were staying at, we hardly ate at. That was a whole nother thing. So we hardly ever ate there, or it was mainly a place to sleep at night, okay? So we were hardly ever like there, because my husband had his own job. He just continued working his job, you know, right after the fire. He just went back to work and continued working his job as a window cleaner. And then, well, which now he works for a different company and not as a window cleaner, but he still works. Oh my gosh, my cat, stop. He still works as a window cleaner. But he works on the side as a window cleaner for himself now. He has his own business. Trying to go back to where I was at for a second here. So yeah, he still does that. And but I have worked for straight 7 months like that was a job over there, and I say that it was a job, but anyway, then since then I had continued to work. up until about last, probably to 2020. Yeah, November 2021. I'm sorry, I had to think for a minute. And there's a reason why that's a crucial kind of a time right there. But I can't go into that either because that's part of something that I have going on right now that's being addressed. So anyway, but in November 2021 was when I stopped working on the place, okay, on the property that is. Or not November 2021, November 2022. Sorry, wrong year. Anyway, so I continued to work on it like weekly. I was over there every day because we were getting our mail there still. We had a trash service over there. So I was there daily. Sometimes on the weekend I would just run through there for 10 minutes or something. I wasn't working over there all day anymore. But anyway, so there was that. Like I was doing all that. We moved into this commercial building then 7 months, after being homeless. So this commercial building, yes, I see you. She says hi. This is Amara. Oh, she's purring. So we moved into this building. So this building has been in my family. My grandpa built this building. It was built in the 50s, and it's a 2-story commercial building. And it has 2 floors. So the downstairs consists of a front room. We just call it the front room all the time, but okay, it's the front room that faces the highway because we are like right on top of the highway here. And it's actually the storefront area. So my grandpa, he had his business here, and I think that was it was like from 1955 to 2001, so a long time. So that storefront room was his showroom. He had a TV and appliance business, and he worked on floor model televisions. He worked on stoves, refrigerators, microwaves, stereos, and then that space was in the back. So we call that the back room. The back room that's actually bigger than the storefront area in the front. It was his workspace. So he would work back there, and then he had the storefront area that was the showroom for like all the new stuff. And then he did even have like, I think it's like some used TVs or whatnot he would have out front for sale too, but it was mainly new televisions and stoves and whatnot, record players, boom boxes back in the 80s when those came out and stuff. I remember, and we always got some of the coolest stuff for Christmas, my brother and I, because my brother and I both got stereos for Christmas, back in 1980 something, like we were kids. And I remember I got this little portable, cassette player, slash AM FM stereo, it was really cool radio. And then my brother got like this great big boom box that was like that big that played cassettes and AM FM radio. So that was, one of the like cool things back then. Like it was always really neat what we get for Christmas. So, but the storefront area is like, if you picture Main Street America, I'm just gonna say that because all the cool areas, like where you would go down Main Street and it's like the historic like stores and buildings, and then they would have these like giant windows, and that's how this is out front, like big giant windows. So I think that is just, I've always loved that. I love those kind of stores. I'm absolutely like, I love history, period, end, but I love love historic buildings and houses. I just love them so much. My house that I lived in was built in 1887, so it was a real treasure. Um, and it's like something out of a movie, and I would never be able to ever replace that house in any way. Even if I rebuilt that, we had talked about, well, my son had said to his dad, like right after it burnt down, it really kind of hit him what had happened. And he said, you know, even if we rebuilt that house, it would never be that house. And yeah, it was that. I mean, just the history. I mean, you could see it by looking at it. So I love that. And I love this building because my grandpa built it, and I have fond memories of growing up here. You know, we would ride the bus up here at times and get off the bus here and sit with my grandpa and tell my mom come and picked us up, you know. And it was like evenings where she had to go somewhere, so she couldn't pick us up from school or something like that. And actually, I remember one time we were at school, just, and the elementary school is literally right down the street before you get to the train tracks. So one time I remember was out to the bus, and we had got out to the bus, my brother and I, because we had to ride a different bus to come up here. And I remember we got out there, and the bus was like already pulled away. This is like kind of funny now, even though, I mean, my brother did not find this amusing at all. My brother was like crying, like, what are we gonna do now? Now, my brother's 2 years younger than me, so he was like, you know, like, oh my God, what are we gonna do now, kind of a thing. Like, he was really upset. And me being the older sister, I was always like, trust me, I was delegated the responsibility at a very young age that, like, I really shouldn't have been, but I was. So like, me being that person that just is responsible and whatnot, even though here we are both still in grade school, mind you, I say to my brother, like, oh, it's no big deal, we'll just walk, because it was literally, the elementary school's right down the street. So I'm like, it literally, so we just start walking, you know, I mean, and it was, we just had to be careful, you know, when we crossed the highway. So I just, that's kind of a funny memory though, because he was like literally having some kind of a meltdown, like, oh, you know, like terrified, what are we going to do? And I'm thinking, it's like, we're just right down the street from the shop, which is what we call this building, because it was my grandpa's. My cat has her paw stuck. Well, hang on. You did that. Don't do that. So that's actually kind of funny, you know. I mean, that's one thing that I find amusing, but but yeah, I remember thinking, it's just right down the street, like, you know. So but anyway, back to, we call it the shop. That's the term we've always referred to it as, the shop. We still refer to it as the shop because this was my grandpa's shop. So like, my whole family on my mother's side, just, it's the shop. Like, so anyway, we moved up here, and like I said, it has 2 floors. There's also so downstairs there's that storefront room, and then there's a little bigger room in the back that is just the work area, basically the workspace. There's a bathroom back there, and then there's also a very small office. That's where my office is down there, and it's probably the tiniest office y'all have seen. And actually, yeah, there's people that have closets like way bigger than my office. And sometime, hopefully before too long, because I want to go down there and do some more cleaning. That's right, y'all. I got a path walking in there, and I'm telling you, I've cleaned a bunch out, but there's still, I just need to like spend another day. Like that's what I've done before. I've like spent a part of a day. Actually, I say that. I only spent actually probably 2 hours in there and just clean a bunch of stuff up. But anyway, I need to do that again. And I say that it's going to actually take more than 2 hours this time. But I mean, it's not worse now than it was before. But I just got a lot of stuff stacked up in there. It's ridiculous. And then I have yarn in there. I have a bunch of yarn in there, and it's not all in there because most of it at this point is literally actually not in there and is in my storefront room that is going to be my store eventually. So anyway, and then anyway, I want to do some videos down there too, but anyhow, so the upstairs is just one big giant room. Like, I mean, it's got spaces carved out, but in other words, it's all open floor plan, okay? That is what I'm trying to say. So my grandpa, it was always just like storage, and he didn't hardly have anything upstairs at all, and he just kept it closed off mostly. But it is the same exact size as the whole first floor. So it's a pretty good size space. But it does not have any walls is what I mean. Well, sort of, but not exactly. It's pretty much open floor plan now. So there was nothing. So there was nothing, okay? My dream was there was nothing in this upstairs, virtually. So my dream was, and has been for over 20 years. I have had this dream to turn the upstairs into this beautiful loft style apartment. I love the look of, again, these historic buildings, and I've seen some. I saw one not too long ago, and these this couple had redone, like they own the whole, it's like a brick 2-story historic building, and they literally went and redid the upstairs and a loft style, like and it's a loft style apartment or home or what, and it absolutely looked gorgeous, y'all. It looked gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Like, oh my gosh, I could not believe it. The only thing is like they had like the original hardwood floors, which I wish I had. This did not have any floors up here, y'all. It's all like was subfloor, so that was never like, it was never a finished space like that. So, but anyway, I had this dream of this being this beautiful loft style apartment. So years ago, I had designed in my mind exactly where I wanted the kitchen to be, the bathroom to be, the bedrooms to be, the living room. Like, I had the closet to be. Like, I had the entire thing designed, okay? And I had it all written out of like floor plans of what I was going to do, because way back when I was going to do this actually on my own. So, and I did quite a bit of remodeling work up here on my own years ago. That was after I got divorced. Previously, that is. But I'd never, anyway, got as far as like, I ended up getting involved with my daughter's dad. And then that's what, don't rub against that. It's my cat. So that kind of really seriously took me off course. But anyway, so we are still going. I have sat down, of course, since then and sketched this all back out, because I had to show to my, now husband, like, before we moved up here, I was like, this is what I want. This is what we're going to do. Like, and he's just, because this is like a new thing to him, even though like this place is not new to me. It's like an extension of my family. So it was just, yeah, funny. But so the storefront area, to go back into that for a minute, also, that is where I intend to put my own store into. So back in 2000, when I was married to my I almost said the wrong person. My my son's dad, he had a business, okay, a computer business, and it was at a location. Things happened there and whatnot. Anyway, he ended up moving then into this building, the office. We did end up doing that. So we had a store downstairs in this storefront area already before. It's not like, and I ran that full time because he ran on-site calls and I was actually the one like running the store and doing a million other things. But anyway, so that was, we've already done this as far as like I've already done this. Now obviously my husband now has never done this, but that's okay because it's like this is my business and he's not trying to like intercede into what I'm doing. So there's that. Like he's been great about it. Because he knows that these are dreams of mine and goals of mine, and he wants me to be able to do that for myself. Especially because I finally quit my full-time job in 2018. And I had to, that's when I accepted that I was disabled and that I, essentially that I had disabilities. And it became, I just became unable to work in that way. So, that was the hardest, decision that I ever made because I did not want to quit my job. I actually loved my job, but I had been suffering through it, like almost since I started it back in 2016. And so, I had to accept that, I had to change my life. I didn't like have a choice in that because I was gonna like unalive myself if I just kept, going the way I was going. And then I was doing that plus still trying to do all the stuff at home. And I was getting like 4 hours or 5 hours of sleep at night. And it was just, I would get home at 1:30, 2:30 in the morning, and then have to get back up at like 6 o'clock and then be up like all day again, and but it was just too much. So I'd accept that. And I had been wanting to do this store, um, for a long time. So that was what I was working towards before I ever like got involved, like even with my husband and stuff. I've been working even before I got with my daughter's dad. So I have been working, slowly working towards the idea of doing that. Um, it's wild where you end up with things because I feel that, I feel that I'm where I need to be if or supposed to be. Um, because the house burnt down and that was, horrific. Yeah, that was horrific. I almost unalived right there because I almost became a crispy critter. But the whole thing of losing your whole life there, that was like the life that we had there, the life that I was working towards, like the comfort and safety of, my own home, and then all obviously like all the things that people take for granted, like a washer and dryer and a stove and a bathroom, and just so yeah, it's been, but I feel that anyways the Lord brought me back to here to say, look, you can fulfill your dreams, like, because this is what I wanted. I just hadn't, you know, and what better way to have the time when you're living in it? I mean, so it's then you are having to actively do something in it of a day that's gonna, generally speaking anyway, something that's gonna improve it. So I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, remodeling period is a lot. But this has been, it's been a big journey. Yeah, one heck of a journey. So, but this place is extremely special to me and important, because I practically grew up here, and I absolutely love this building. And despite the fact, y'all, I hate living in town. I'm gonna be real honest. I hate living in town. I do. I mean, I've had to do it before, and I just hate it. I'm not a city person. I'm not an in-town person. I mean, I live in a very rural, small town with that's about 2,000, something, give or take, people population wise. So it's very rural, small town. I mean, we got like a couple dollar stores and a grocery store and a liquor store. You got to have one of those, and a bar. So we are, and a post office, like a couple gas stations. Well, yeah, a few gas stations. So that's like it. There's, and a few restaurants. I mean, not your big, like, not like McDonald's. I mean, we do have a Subway and a Dairy Queen, but then it's like, the smaller restaurant style, family restaurant type of thing. And so what I'm saying though is I still hate living in town. First of all, I do not like at all living on the highway. I have done this before. My ex-husband and I actually own a mini farm back when my son was really little, so about 20 years ago. And I hated living on the highway. It's so noisy, and there's so much traffic, and it's just, and then, we had little kids, so that was part of too why we were like, we really need to move, because our son was about 2. So it just, but I mean, and obviously I don't have that issue now because my youngest child is 11 and she's not going near the highway. So that's not the issue. It's just, I don't like it. It's annoying. And then, like, so we have like 2 houses right next to us, 2 on top of us, and then there's a car wash. So, and then like it could be 1 in the morning and you hear like at the car wash, like the dryer kick in on that automatic wash over there, and I'm like, and it is super loud. I mean, just think of a hair dryer times like 100, and I'm just like, why are you washing your car at 1 in the morning? I don't understand that. I don't. I just don't. Yeah, that, and then and then the train up here. We're right down the street from the train tracks. I'm just, but no, I don't enjoy living in town. So this is not the ultimate goal. So it's not. I will have the store. I mean, I'll get to that point eventually, and we're gonna live upstairs for the time being. But my intention is, in other words, down the line, we're gonna have like the downstairs, like, as well, I will, whatever, for my business, and then I will rent out this upstairs to someone. Um, it's basically a studio apartment. So I mean, which we need more housing in this town, because even though the population ain't that much, is people always moving out here or trying to, and there's nowhere for them to go to. And that is how we ended up here personally, because there was nowhere out here to rent. Nothing. Nothing to rent. I mean, even out of town at that time, there was nothing to rent. We kept trying. There was nothing. But it's fine. Again, I feel like we are where we're supposed to be. And I do feel comfort in living here, that I feel like, it just feels safe and comfortable to me because of my grandpa. So, eventually we will, not be living here, but we have got a lot to do in the meantime. So that was kind of my story on that. And that's probably going to be about it for this video. Oh, minus me mentioning. So I'm sorry, I gotta sit here and make notes, y'all, because if I don't write it down and remember the note, okay, like to bring the note with me, I will not remember to tell y'all. So I was going to say that I have been extremely stressed. Now, when I say that, it's extremely stressed for me. Now, it's still very heavy, but not like extremely stressed like I was after my house burnt down and up until like last year, because I had to like literally get control of the stress. It was about a year or so ago that I really learned a lot better how to manage and deal with my stress, because I had never learned in my life, y'all, how to deal with like stress, massive amounts of stress. Now I would just bundle it up in here and just, oh no, it was bad. It was really, really bad. So I've done a lot of like spiritual healing, but I do meditation. So that's one thing that like helps me like so much. And I just try to clear out negative energy, and I just feel better, and I just let it go. But I also tell myself that it's okay. Simply, it's okay. Because in my life, like through every time I've gone through a really bad tragedy or something so hard, and I thought I was just gonna not wake up the next day, I always got through it, is what I'm saying. Even though I didn't think I could make it, and I was on my last leg, I still made it. Like, I still got up the next day, and I still put my best foot forward, and I still pushed and drove to get through another day, even if I felt depressed or whatever, or just, being sad, but whatever. And looking back, I've always gotten through every single situation, so I've made it. So now I just tell myself, like, it's okay. And now now I know that, like, I don't even rethink myself anymore on that, because y'all, you wouldn't believe the stuff I have had to do in the last 3 years, much less the stuff I've been through before that. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, because, and the reason being is that too, copious amounts of stress is completely unhealthy for y'all. And I am a walking like example. I'm a walking example, even though some days I literally can't hardly walk, but I'm literally an example, because copious amounts of stress over time, it takes an extreme toll on your body. Since my house burnt down, and I had such extreme stress daily for years, for the first like 2.5 years, I had really extreme stress, to the point where I was constantly feeling like, I literally was feeling like I was going to have a heart attack or something. Like, it was just balled up in me so bad. Like, it was terrible. And it was because of things that were going on that I had no control over, and things that were being done to me. And it was just, and it all went back and stemmed from that house fire. But nonetheless, what I'm saying, y'all, that's please, 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 like learn how to manage your stress, even if it's just taking a walk, like out in nature or something, like in a park or something. That is something really, really good for you too. Just something to like help you clear that from yourself, because copious amount of stress will cause um, tons of health problems that will, will and can affect you the rest of your life. Autoimmune, you can develop autoimmune because of stress like that. You can cause vision problems. So that was one of the issues I had. My vision got worse, like way worse after, like, in the last couple of years since all this, to the point where I'm on prescription eye drops and vitamins for my eyes. I had to have my right knee replaced because I ended up with meniscal tears, and that was physical labor though, and that I was working over there. I ended up with meniscal tears in my knee to the point that I could not put my right foot down completely, and I would just drag it all the time, my right leg. So there was that, but that's a physical thing, or a physical, that was from physical labor. But I'm talking about stress. But you can have bowel problems, you can have bladder issues, you can have ulcers from that. I mean, there's just so many things. I'm just seriously, and yes, I have some of those problems too. But like I said, also autoimmune. It can be all of a sudden, oh, you have autoimmune disease, like because you know of these things too, like, and it's possible. I've read a lot about that, and I do believe, just like I've read also too, that a lot of abuse can cause autoimmune, and I believe that because I have suffered through a lot of abuse in my lifetime, and I truly believe that. And there again though goes back to stress, and you constantly feeling worried and stressed. So I'm saying that no matter what, like if you have a lot of stress in your life, please, please, please learn how to manage that, because you will be like so much better for it, like healthy wise, or health wise. So I wanted to mention that because I've just been really stressed the last couple of weeks since my daughter's dad had his stroke, and that created, you know, things that I had to take care of that I was not prepared for to have happen, just like that. And it was like the house fire. It was the same thing, but we don't have control of these things, and that's kind of sometimes, you know, it's just that's the stuff in life that can happen that way, just very quickly, and your life has changed. And mine has, because of this, profoundly, and so has my daughter's. And I mean, so it wasn't just her dad that was affected. It affected his parents, his wife. He's got another child with his wife, and that's another reason this is affected to the situation, because I don't want my daughter to not see her sister, like, again. I don't want her to not be able to see her, like, so there's just things and strides that we have to make. His wife and I are trying to work together on things to, you know, so they can still be around each other, and still, spend time together. It's really important. Her sisters, I mean, and my daughter says, her sister drives her crazy, and I get that. I mean, my daughter's 11 and her sister is 6 going on 7. So I get it completely. But nonetheless, I told her it's important, because when she gets older, they're still going to be sisters. So, and I said, you'll probably like be really close when y'all are both adults. Like, so, It's really important. And plus, my daughter is kind of like the leader because she's, you know, my daughter's like the responsible one and the level-headed one and the one that's very wise. So, because she's the oldest. Um, so that's also good for her sister. Like, so anyway, that's why I wanted to bring up the stress. It's something that I have battled. I mean, so much within my life, and I just want y'all to know how important it is that you know, try to manage that, like at least for yourself, if, like for real, if nothing else, because I mean, even um, you can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of yourself. So it's just extremely important. And then that was going to be, I think, pretty much it for today. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't expect it to be, wow, it's already like 45 minutes long. Oops, sorry about that. This was supposed to be quick. So, well, I will see you next time, though. I hope you enjoyed this. And I am so grateful for every single one of you. Thank you so much. Much love to y'all. God bless y'all. And I will see you in the next video, which will be the Wednesday whips very quickly. Bye now.